red badge on Underdog, right?
Yes, sir.
Dude, I mean, I feel like lately the badge has lost its honor. I see the badge
Red,
players doing.
Red Badge owners are off the chain lately. They are.
They're honestly the worst. I hate them.
Yo. Today we got Chris B from Value Draft Picks, aka Early Down Grinder on Twitter. How we doing today, buddy?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. How are you, dog?
Pretty good. We got to know each other during the draft. That was a lot of fun for me, at least. So wanted to run it back with you at least once during this draft season. So
Heck yeah, brother. That live draft show was the best. It was a lot of fun. I'm excited to talk some fantasy football.
That was it. Chris and Felix on the live show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My guy. All right. So share screen. Underdog Fantasy Lobby. All right. They got a lot of drafts going on right now. College football just opened up. Did you see that?
Yeah, I really don't watch college football like that. I would straight up be burning the money, but that is cool. It's cool how much Underdog has expanded.
Yeah, and it's nice that they're trying different avenues and seeing if it can work out for them.
It's also nice that they're succeeding because that's a lot of money I'm giving to them, and I'm glad to know that I can feel like I'll get paid out. You know?
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna jump into a fast puppy. If you guys want to join, we'll be doing that here in a couple seconds. I also want to make sure that I have a.
And we got Jose. What up, Jose? He's out here.
Yes. Alrighty. Wish to enter the fast puppy. Yes. Waiting for 2 people. It's already filled. That was fast. Alrighty.
People love the fast drafts, man.
Yeah, man.
So are we like zero RB? Like what's your go-to?
Oh, I guess we probably should talk this a little bit out. I'm not used to having people on the stream. I'm like usually just solo running it. I'm okay with kind of just whatever the board gives me. This is I didn't do my ranks for Underdog lately, so I just let the ADP go. So I kind of just at the 8 pick, I'd probably get Breece or Bijan.
Whoever's there.
Yeah.
Can you scroll over? Honestly, something I love to do when I'm waiting for the draft to start is see who's in the lobby with me.
Yeah.
I names I recognize or badges. Because you'll draft with a lot of the same guys all the time. Like No Soup for You is in every draft I do. I don't know who this guy is, but every draft.
Shoobs I drafted with last night. So he's one of my followers.
But we got a good mix. Badge, no badge. I feel like I always get in the clump of badge players. Like it's never 2 no badges next to me. It's just me and 2 other badges hitting at ADP.
Yeah. So CeeDee Lamb. So okay. So it's one of these lobbies. So what have you been going so far this season?
So early on in the offseason, it was pure 0 RB. But the as it got to like June and it was just people that never get off the app and the people with lives weren't on there yet, they were really pushing running backs down. So it kind of got to the point where it's like, okay, like I'm going to work in elite running backs while maintaining strong wide receiver rooms.
Yeah.
Now the last week or 2, I've been really just playing through the first 6 rounds. I'm taking whatever ADP is giving to me.
Same.
And then I'm building the team around that.
That's what I've been doing a lot lately too.
Yeah, just
even double RB, like I'll go double RB, and I know I can build 5 like straight wide receivers after that.
Yeah,
we're on the clock. We got Bijan,
so
AJ Brown, and Puka.
So I'll just do Bijan. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It's I've been doing what the lobby gives me. I want to try to draft players whose ADP is beneath where my pick is. But then of course you want to mix in strategy.
Gotcha.
I'm absolutely adoring teams that feature Bijan or Breece Hall, followed by 2 receivers, followed by
a tight end.
I like an elite quarterback in the 4th round, or getting back into the running back streets, and you enter the 6th round with 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and either a tight end or a QB.
Yeah.
Then round 6 and 7, you just circle back to the bread and butter, the wide receivers or the running backs. And then I've been really experimenting with these like round 10, 11 receivers. Your Mike Williams, your Jerry Jeudy's, your Romeo Doubs's. They make really good wide receiver 6s, you know?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. You're addicted to Najee Harris.
Yeah, 7th round is meant for Najee. And honestly, everything has gone in his like direction in a positive manner. in my opinion. I like Warren, so it's not like I'm like against Warren in any case, but like Najee is going to be touchdown upside. He's going to be a smash over here on Underdog, I think.
If there were an app to do it, it's Underdog, right? With traditional half PPR scoring.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like the case for Najee Harris is last year David Montgomery, because like he had Jahmyr Gibbs, but everything else went right, and it didn't really matter that Jahmyr Gibbs was so good. Because like you said, he's just gonna mop up touchdowns.
Oh, we're about to be on the clock again. We have JT, Olave, Nico Collins, and Brandon Ayuk on the board. Do you have a preference?
I mean, I did talk a big game about playing the ADP game, but with JT here, I don't necessarily adore it. I would say let's go, I guess, Nico. Just get a receiver. And then we'll see what the third round gives us. Because my worry is like Kyron Williams is there, Derrick Henry's there. Like, I don't want to end up having 3 running backs through the first 3 rounds. And not that you never want to do it, but if you're gonna do such a low advance rate build, you want to do it at insane ADP value, right? So like, you're looking up the board and you started at 103 with CMC, and now JT is there. Oh, okay. And then no one took Devon Achane. Well, now I'm getting 3 guys past where they go.
Well, then you just check that running back. You just don't even look at the rest of it.
And then, you wait till the 11th round to get more running backs. I mean, it is what it is. But it's unless you get like, dude, I see people do it all the time with tight end. I have drafted 100 Best Ball Mania teams. I have one singular team where I took more than 1 tight end in the first 6 rounds. And that's because I just got crazy value on 2 of the top guys. I got Sam Laporta in like the mid 4th. And then I was the guy who had to block the early Lamar drafter from getting Andrews. So I just said, F it. I got them both way past ADP. I'll see dudes like take the first tight end.
Yeah.
And then circle back with Kincaid 5 picks ahead of ADP. Don't be that guy. Like, don't take
them at an earlier value. Let them fall. If they fall, then maybe.
Yeah, you don't reverse engineer your value into a negative space for a non-optimal strategy, right?
Yeah.
Like you want to.
Yeah, and honestly, I've been going a lot of I've been trying out a bunch of one tight end builds, like an elite tight end, just because like my team that ended up winning it was pretty much a solo Gronk team because Robert Tonyan was out the entire year.
Yeah. Listen, in theory, you just need the one elite tight end. Like the bye week doesn't really matter.
Right.
And
you're losing 4 points, 5 points.
Couple of points.
Yeah.
If they're gonna hit, they're gonna hit. Right. I do like to just tack the second tight end on in like the final round of the draft. But again, it's semantics. You don't necessarily have to.
All right, so we have 2 Houston wide receivers that can pair up with Diggs, or we can go with DJ Moore and Michael Pittman.
Are all these running backs drafted? They took Kyron.
They took all the running backs.
Wow. See, I always get burned when I try to go off what ADP tells me. Yeah. ADP told us JT. That's my fault. What do you like here?
I've been going Pittman lately just because I want AR.
All right, let's take a Pittman.
And that kind of sits our little thing we were talking about earlier with couple. You wanted the one quarterback next round. I think we can push it to get AR in the 5th.
Oh heck yeah, dude!
Yeah,
heck yeah. I would say like because Josh Allen goes so late, and then AR pushes back. Any one of those guys from Josh Allen to AR before you get to CJ Stroud, it's like if you can get them on your team and it makes sense, I do like putting them on there because I put a lot of thought into this the other day. Actually, I was thinking about 3 middle round wide quarterbacks relative to an early quarterback. So taking like a Brock Purdy, a Jared Goff, and a Tua, right?
Yeah, I did that today actually. I went with a Herbert, Lawrence, and a Burrow.
See, well, the 3 you named are a lot better than the 3 I named.
Just a little.
For what I'm gonna get at. Where are we on next year?
Yeah, we're almost on the clock.
Who are we? What's your name?
Oh, we got a mid 4th Laporta here. My name is Pekin Pecan. And we have Kelsey as well. I don't know.
Well, since we're planning on getting Richardson, we kind of got to take the dipping value on Laporta.
Okay.
and we're just gonna have to figure out the rest of the team later.
Yeah, it worked. We know players. We got some.
Oh, heck yeah.
We put this up. We're in the middle.
Like,
we're the green. Just a heads up.
Okay, yeah. Let's look at the board. I like looking at the board.
Okay.
It's but like if you're gonna get these middling guys, they're really good for advance rate. Like your 300 points out of Jared Goff will certainly help your team keep pace. But those spike weeks in the playoffs are so dominant. And these top 6 guys, because of the mobility and Mahomes being Mahomes, like they're going to get these 35-point weeks. Now, you technically will get the same with Stroud to a degree, but Stroud to me feels a little bit more replaceable by like Burrow and Caleb Williams.
Yes.
And like Trevor Lawrence.
I agree.
Where the other guys are just a little more special.
I agree. He did. There was some kind of stat out there that he had one game or 1 week where he was like a top 12 or top 5 running quarterback, and like the rest he was like just an average quarterback fantasy points wise. Like he wasn't like anything winning.
And listen, he'll be a lot better this year, right? His
weapons are you added Diggs, right.
Yeah. But like, you basically have to do Burrow 2 years ago that scored 370 fantasy points, which again, he very much can.
Yeah.
And draft CJ Stroud if you want him. But I definitely like getting high upside at quarterback. And then you can throw in a floor guy, but there's also later guys. Like in theory, Deshaun Watson has the mobility for the huge weeks. In theory, Daniel Jones has the mobility for the huge weeks. And I think the real potential playoff winner that is going to be tough to advance with is Drake May, because Drake May led his college team in rushing his junior year. Like Drake May does have sneaky dual threat upside on a New England team that's playing the Chargers in week 17. It's there's a world Drake May has like 32 fantasy points in like the most important week,
Right.
But
no, I agree. And a lot of smart people have also been saying that. I was high on Drake May early. I've been kind of backing off a little bit, just because I've been wanting points early, because I want to know what I know right now to get points, which I should be drafting specifically just for week 17. But I've been drafting guys that I know will be on the field week 1.
Yeah, and that's very reasonable. I'm trying to pepper in a strategy this year where once I basically have my foundation, I don't mind. That's such a reach. That's terrible, man. Yeah. I don't mind drafting guys purely for something like late season upside. You know what I'm saying? Like like let's say you got killer value on a Joe Burrow around pick 100. What do you want to do here? I say we just bread and butter Calvin Ridley or Keenan Allen.
Yes. You like
100%. Ridley? I love Ridley.
I love Ridley. I love what the coaches are saying about Ridley, and I love I liked Ridley, and I bet against Ridley last year, but I was like, he's going to be a little bit rusty. Let him get 1 year back underneath his feet, and then he'll come back at.
Alex Rollins. I don't know if you ever watch his stuff.
No.
I don't watch Film Grinders ever. I think there's too much subjectivity to it. Alex Rollins is pretty honest. He had a video on Calvin Ridley recently. It's about the Jaguars from last year. And when you watch that, you're like, oh, okay. Calvin Ridley on Tennessee makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. Way more sense than Jacksonville. Basically, Jacksonville is putting him where he can't succeed on press coverage at X, where he should have been a flanker, getting movement before hopping off the ball. It looks like that's what Tennessee is going to use him for with Hopkins at X, and Will Levis could be our new Jameis Winston 30-30 season. So it's like the combination of hoping that the new coaching staff in Tennessee puts Ridley in a position to succeed, combined with Will Levis just chucking the ball. If you get 200 fantasy points in the 5th round out of Calvin Ridley, like you got last year, it's a great pick. It's a great pick.
And I'm like, I've been getting a lot of that game. Week 17 game is all the Tennessee Titans Jaguars game. It's definitely one of my favorite games to stack, because I'm a big fan of Gabe Davis, and it's like they kind of mesh fairly well.
Gabe Davis is low-key a nice late-round receiver value this year. And I will say this. On paper, that game, what are we thinking? Well, I'm not going to double down on tight end.
No. We have Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins. We double there. Addison, no. McConkey, Watson.
Let's take Kenneth Walker. Unless you're going to take Najee later, right?
We are going to take Najee. We can get our third. Yeah, we can get our third one. They all have different buys, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley, a lot of upside. Kenneth Walker, a guy I normally don't draft, and a guy I normally don't draft ahead of ADP. I do want to mix him in 4 or 5% of the time because he does have upside, but he's pretty capped. He's probably a 200-point player, which Najee also is, who's 2 rounds cheaper.
Yeah.
But he works as an RB2. All right, so let's talk about this Najee Harris thing.
Okay.
What exposure are you at?
Only a slight, 90? I lost one today, so 94%.
That's a lot, man. Listen, let me hear it.
Okay, so I like to play best ball as if it's a DFS slate. If I'm gonna attack it, like that. I'm trying to build roughly 60% of the same lineup, and then diversify throughout the rest of the portfolio, all the rest of the team, on all of my lineups. And so far, Najee's my lock. He's my destroying the season. He's the guy that's going to be the league winner for the regular season, and he might be for the postseason, but who knows, right? And then I'm getting a lot of Trevor Lawrence and the Gabe and the Tennessee stack, and then it's I'm building my main piece, and then a lot of little other pieces to go along with it. But my mainstay is going to be Najee. 1, he won me $1 million. 2, I think he's set up for success this year. They actually are getting him a good play caller. Offensive line's better. It's not like they brought in this elite quarterback that's going to pass the ball 50 million times. It's going to be his offense this year.
So Najee Harris, probably the most durable back in the league right now, can handle the most touches. Yeah. Only ever had 1,000-yard seasons. So, he's not a scrub by any means. That Steelers offensive line should be better. Russell Wilson threw 28 touchdowns last year in not even a full season. So you're going to generate more offense, 100%. I like George Pickens, like Pat Freiermuth. I like the Steelers team. They're going to play a lot of defense, which means they're also going to want to run the ball for sure. And yeah, I think there is room for both Warren and Najee. My only concern is I think he's fine. He's going to be one of those guys that you look at your roster and he's okay, he filled out my RB2 slot every single week. He was a building piece, but he's not your 35 fantasy point guy unless Warren gets hurt and he just runs filthy pure with touchdowns, which again, he could. If he runs for 19 touchdowns, you're probably winning a contest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely you could do a lot worse. And where he's going 7th round for a guy who has bell cow profile, that's good. It's a very good price. He goes after some guys that are questionable,
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, Shoobs. How are you gonna be in the stream and take Najee from me?
Oh, he got you, dude. Just take Stroud.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, that's right.
Falling value,
paired it up.
Oh, and we got a stack. Yeah. All right, look, let's go.
That's you get, Shoobs. That was rude, Shoobs.
So who do we got? We got Walker. We got 3 receivers. We got a tight end, and now we've gotten pretty expensive on quarterback.
Kind of expensive. He's almost to the part where we're getting to the mid-tier type quarterbacks.
Oh, we got great value.
Yeah.
I like the flex running back, but I also want to have 5 receivers by the end of round 10. So conventional wisdom is 4 receivers by round 7. That's what worked last year. I don't think you necessarily have to do that this year. I think this year we're going to see it's 5 by round 10. So depending on what's on the board, I'm okay with a back here, but I'm also good with a receiver.
Have you seen the photos of Zamir White? I don't know how locked in you have been on these mentions of him.
Zamir White looks good.
Yeah. Oh, he goes off the board. I can't figure as much.
I just take Jones. I almost never draft him, but if he's gonna fall,
I know. So.
Almost never take him. I think there's a obvious case to not draft Aaron Jones, but I will say this: the 1+ for Aaron Jones, I think he gets really helped by his week 6 bye, and we might get 8 weeks of really good Aaron Jones.
And week 17 is a revenge game, and if you don't think he's gonna try not to tear them a new one, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, he'll miss games, but the games he's out there, they're giving it to Aaron Jones. They're not giving it to Ty Chandler.
Yeah, I think it was week 1 they faced the Bears, and he went for 35 points, and then he missed the next 4 or 5 weeks. But he blew up in that one game.
Yeah, it's still I'm gonna maybe in 150 drafts have him 4 or 5 times because you have a very old player who is now seen as shown us a lot of injuries. Minnesota has been one of the worst teams to be a running back on.
Yeah,
since
that's the only
third year
reason
of
that
Dalvin
scares
Cook.
me.
Yeah,
that,
Minnesota blows for running backs.
he's
Terrible.
a good pass catcher. I'm hoping he gets a lot of dump offs from Darnold, but who knows how he's going to play it.
You have a bad running back situation. Plus, if theoretically come playoffs, you have Hawkinson, Addison, Jefferson. Not a lot of meat on that bone, right? So there's a lot of downside with Jones. But if he's going to fall and you're going to at least get ADP value on someone that deserves to be mixed in, I'll take it. Also, a guy like Aaron Jones is really nice to – Aaron Jones and Chuba Hubbard are really nice to complement rookies and players who you don't think will be good early in the season. Like you could get Aaron Jones and then Nick Chubb. Now you have one RB1 theoretically back and front half of the season. Right. So I think we could look at him as a bridge 1,000%. But yeah, I'm really leaning into this 5 receivers by round 10 strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other 5 picks are typically going like 3 running backs, a quarterback, and a tight end, or some variation of that.
All right, let's see what kind of receivers are coming up here. Lockett, Rashid, Dubs, Shakir, Brandon Cooks, and Myers. I won't talk about it because Shubes might just take it from us.
Yeah, we're going to wait till it's our turn, and then we're going to talk about it, Shubes. Okay, let's answer some of these questions.
Yeah. I saw Jose say...
When do you notice the drop-off?
Yeah, when was the drop-off? Honestly, I would say like right after... It depends on what you're looking for, but I would say right after Dobbs.
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly another tier of it. I see it as like you have the very good tier that basically runs until about Ridley.
All right, we're on the clock.
Let's go Dobbs. You said it.
Yep, we got correlation with Aaron Jones.
Hey, look at that. And we're building a nice little Week 17 stack with a mini stack built in. The Jones, Dobbs, and we'll have to get a Baltimore later. We have options, and you can't go wrong, man. But I definitely feel like we have a wide receiver dead zone in round 6 and 7. Yeah. And then we get really good 160-point receivers in Sutton and Curtis Samuel.
So can you make the point for Sutton? Because I can't make the case for him.
He's just the target leader for an offense, and the rest doesn't really matter when he's the cheapest target leader for an offense. Do
you think is there a possibility that the Broncos just suck so bad that they have a Zach Wilson type quarterback there?
I mean, Broncos are 1,000% going to blow, and for sure Sutton was carried by 10 touchdowns last year, and courtesy of just being such a perfect scheme match for Russell Wilson. Sutton succeeding last year is why everyone should love George Pickens this year because of Russ. But I think Knicks will give him just enough. And I think Hayden Winks made a pretty good point that you're going to lose touchdown equity, but you're probably going to gain target share in short areas of the field. So he's not going to do 1,000,000 points, but 160 points, a solid fringe wide receiver 3 can build into your best ball team 100%. When it's like, what is it? It's going to be Sutton and then Troy Franklin and then the ghost of Marvin Mims and Greg Dulcich.
Tim Patrick and all those other jabronis.
Not a lot I'm scared of. Let's see the running back situation. Or honestly, how are quarterbacks looking?
Love.
You want to go Love?
Yeah. Yep.
What bye week is Stroud? Hopefully we didn't mess
10,
that
14.
up.
No, we didn't.
All right, so we're going 2 quarterbacks. Done.
Yep, we're good. We're good there. Yep.
So actually a strategy that I've been looking back at all my teams. I tweeted about it today. And I'm liking when the quarterback room looks like this because Love gives us a nice floor and a ceiling, and Stroud can give us those playoff week ceilings. So it'll be great. But with the receivers, I do like this next tier, though. I think it offers some guys like Mike Williams and Jerry Jeudy. There's a lot of wide.
I know you're a Jets fan, and I'm a former, I am a Chargers fan, a former owner of Mike Williams. Do you think he can stay healthy, or are we just looking for hopefully he gets hurt early in the season, makes a comeback for like the playoff weeks of fantasy football?
Honestly, man, he's so cheap. And I know he's 30, but the ACL timeline is good. Yeah. And he's so cheap for Mike Williams that he could catch 10 touchdowns. He's the one of the best contested catch players outside of Mike Evans the last 5 years. He's playing with Aaron Rodgers. Is a ton of risk, but Garrett Wilson is not a big receiver, so he could just dominate red zone and third down. And if he catches 10 tuds where he's going, it's a great pick.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, he's a great pick. He smashes.
Yeah, but and
we can't predict injuries. But I mean,
if I'm drafting 150 teams, I'm taking Mike Williams 6-7 times. If I'm drafting one team, I'll pass on Mike Williams. I'm good. But and then after this, certainly Jalen Polk is the last guy where I'm like, I feel great about you, and then you're just taking darts.
Oh yeah, for sure. Polk is definitely the last great wide receiver of the rookie class. And then, I take a lot of shots at Jalen Hyatt, but that's because I usually have some Colts, and I usually can easily backstack if I need a third quarterback with Daniel Jones and Daniel Bellinger.
I definitely, I love.
But then again, I'm usually only doing 20. I'm usually doing 20-round drafts over on DraftKings.
Yes, that's fair. Jalen Hyatt is a great profile.
Yeah,
we're up. What do we got at running back? Is Nick Chubb still there?
Nick Chubb is still there.
You want to try the bridge, the Jones Chubb bridge, or is that a waste of a pick?
Why not? We have 3 good running backs. We can handle.
All right, let's try it.
We can handle
a little early season disappointment from the Chubbinator.
Yeah, and I feel really good at our quarterback position. Feel really good at our wide receivers right now. Feel really good at tight end. Honestly, we could take the luxury pick of Chubb here. We're not behind anywhere.
I feel a little thin at receiver because we didn't hit the 5x10, but we're just going to dump tight end 2, and we're good at quarterback. So at this point, we're just going to receiver out. I'm thinking we go 2, 6, 8, 2, something like that.
If Dalton Schultz falls here, I think we go Schultz, but then we do 100% just wide receiver out.
The value on Schultz is really good. I feel like we still have a chance at a decent wide receiver 3, and we are short at wide receiver. Yeah, because if you think about it, let's say we get Polk, what's gonna feel better, Polk, Gesicki, or Schultz and Greg Dortch? It's
for sure.
And I love Greg Dortch, but he ain't no Jalen Polk, dude.
I don't see. I'm having a hard time with that last spot for Arizona wide receivers. Is it Michael Wilson, or is it Dortch, or is it who else is there? I feel like I'm missing somebody blatant.
No, it's just they added Zay Jones, but does anyone care about Zay Jones? I just something I'm trying to avoid this year is I'm not trying to go too fringe on teams that don't necessarily deserve me to go that fringe on. I love Hyatt, but I'm not going to go fringe on the Giants. With Arizona, it's probably just Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride. If I'm going to pick anyone, I think Michael Wilson is just the guy. I was a huge fan last year. He's a little too pricey. Let's take Polk.
Yeah, okay.
Polk's a great pick. Yep. I think for Dortch, it's if you're going to be a fan of Tank Dell in the 3rd round, then I love me some Greg Dortch in the last round because they're the same size, and Dortch will play the slot. So maybe he scores 3 or 4 touchdowns. It's not the highest upside pick ever.
No, he's definitely a floor play if you drafted a lot of great Gabe Davis type players where they can easily just drop you a 0 if they don't get their 30 point.
Yeah. Otherwise, Jose also asked about week 17 games. You got any favorites?
Well, as I said, the Tennessee Jags and then the Colts Giants. I think both of those defenses kind of stink, and I think it could easily be a shootout. If everybody's healthy and playing, I think that could be a shootout.
On paper, Tennessee Jags makes a lot of sense, but historically, one of the most boring games of all time is a Jaguars-Titans divisional game, dude.
But we have a new offensive coordinator. We have 2 new offenses on both sides. Upgraded. No Derrick Henry.
I have two decades of field goal festivals.
Yes,
remind you of. But can we see the board? I like to. I'm a board guy. I also like to judge other people for how they draft and be like, oh, this guy's a bozo. But it's these puppy drafts are wild. I'm a huge fan of that Denver Chargers, that Chargers Patriots game.
Patriots, yeah.
I find myself seeing Cleveland just destroying Miami at home in week 17. I don't know why. Just a feeling, probably a bad one. I'm trying to think, where have I been crushing week 17? I do love Jacksonville. Jacksonville's such a good fit this year.
I just think Trevor Lawrence bounced like MVP type season this year.
Yeah, and even Giants Colts. I mean, for the Colts, that's such a great spot playing the Giants the last week of the season. What a great spot, man. Yeah. We are up.
And there's a lot of ways you can match that one up.
What do we got? A receiver? No, let's go running back. Receivers stink. Take Vidal. Love him.
Okay.
He's my
all right, we're on the same page there.
Guy. That's my guy this year.
Yeah. I had a few shares in the big board. I didn't get too many early in the BBM, but I've got a whole bunch on the big board.
Are the Chargers backfield not just the same debate that we had with Miami last year? You have Gus Edwards, who's your aging veteran that's always produced, but we don't believe in. That was Raheem Mostert. Yeah. Your questionable profile, but highly explosive rookie who's super cheap. That was Achane. Yeah. And then your injured veteran who probably shouldn't matter, and that was Ford, or whatever his name was. Jeff Wilson. Yeah. So and that's Dobbins. Just give me Kamani Vidal, dude.
Yeah.
Love him.
I'm fading Gus Edwards just because I don't think he provides enough upside, and he always gets hurt too. I think they're just in there to show whoever really is the next guy up the ropes.
I'll be honest, dude. If they're in a Chargers uniform, I'm drafting them. I don't care. They're all cheap.
I love to hear. I love to hear. Yeah. Oh yeah. And everybody just says they're going to run the ball. I heard a stat the other day that Justin Herbert was leads the league in passing attempts the last 4 years.
Justin Herbert throws it 700 times a year, every year of his career so far, or was paced for it. You're telling me Harbaugh is going to come in and say, oh, this guy can throw it 700 times a year? We're going to throw it 480 times this year. No, even if he cuts it to 580, that's still average, right? It's crazy, dude. Crazy. But you pick. I would say maybe Wright or
he's my highest running back that I have. Roman Wilson might be. No, we'll go with Wright here. Right. And then,
And then, we have the early season backs or the late season backs. We're going to have to work on
wide receiver.
And I forgot we need another quarter. Oh, no, we're good on quarterback.
We're good on quarterback. We just need one tight end. Yeah.
All right, we're definitely not going to get him, but one of my favorite tight end sleepers is Hunter Henry.
Yeah, he's really good.
Amazing. What I'm looking for on Underdog, which it seems like you're doing the same, that's why you got to take the Najee Harris, is I'm looking for insane touchdown equity. If you have good touchdown equity, I want you on my team. That's why I like Mike Williams. That's why I love Hunter Henry. I'm even taking Mike Gesicki because 6 touchdowns is all you need for a last round pick, and he's killing it, right? He's killing it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I love everybody that has huge touchdown upside, huge touch upside as well on Underdog, because at any point any of those touches could be touchdowns. So in my head I'm this person may not have the 800,000 yard upside, but he has the ability to have a 3 touchdown game with 100 yards at the
You just described Gus Edwards, my man.
Yeah, I know. But I also don't think he's going to stay healthy. I know you can't predict injuries, but
are you not drafting James Conner?
No, I'll have some shares of him, but I'm not drafting him because I already know he's going to miss 4 games, just like Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen as a former Chargers, but the dude can't. Can't remember the last time he played a full season of a football.
So then you're taking Cole Kmet. In the 13th round.
I'm not taking really any mid tight ends.
I was thinking about this the other day too, because I've been avoiding that range of tight ends too. We all do, right? The Schultz, the Kmet, Hawkinson. It's such a gross range.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not that gross of a range because they're these are your tight end 14s that score you 100 points, and Njoku went hot in the playoffs last year and won a guy $3 million.
Well, he's the last of the elite in my head.
But you're telling me Keenan Allen gets hurt, Cole Kmet gets more targets, right? And what if Cole Kmet just happens to catch the touchdowns at week 16 and 17? You never know, man.
Yeah.
It's a game we're playing. But I'm not saying I'm in love with Cole Kmet.
Nah, I can't. No one's going to convince you to try Cole Kmet.
I have been dabbling with some Hawkinsons for that playoff push.
Okay, so you're taking Hawkinson. Like, what kind of builds are you building with Hawkinson?
Like miracle and dream builds, ones that I don't plan on winning with, but I'm taking shots, dude.
But are you taking like an early? Are you taking them with an early tight end, or are you just smashing?
No, I'm actually. That's actually funny because I think it works both ways. So primarily, I want him after ADP. I have not taken him like unless he's a value, right?
Okay.
Like I gotta start gaining ADP equity if I'm taking a Hawkinson. In theory, you can pair him with an early tight end, and maybe Hawkinson just scores the touchdowns in the playoffs while a Mark Andrews gets you there. I also love him on my super fringe tight end drafts. Like Hawkinson's my first tight end. Then I get Hunter Henry. Then I get Mike Gesicki. And it's like, just hope Gesicki and Henry combine for 12 tuds. The team advances, and Hawkinson is the man week 15, 16, 17. You know, he's probably not going to play till week 8. So, like, give him then 4 weeks to get the speed. But, again, Hawkinson, if we're going to go real galaxy brain, it's like, let's say Jordan Addison gets hurt, right? Anything can happen. J.J. McCarthy can probably distribute the ball at least to a Derek Carr level. So Hawkinson can score with that, right? Derek Carr turned on Juwan Johnson last year. So it's we'll see.
Go ahead.
I would say, like, again, of 150 teams, I'll have him on 5. It's not a lot, but I'm not completely ignoring.
I'm kind of completely ignoring it. I don't want anything to do with. A couple of years ago, I drafted a lot of OBJ where he ended up missing the entire year.
Who was that wideout?
Wideout, we got Luke McCaffrey, Javon Baker, Tyler Boyd, and Devontae Walker.
I'm a Baker guy, but you can go Luke McCaffrey. We already have New England, so
go
Devontae. Let's just reach. Fuck it. We need.
I was gonna say I wanted Devontae at least by the next round, just because we wanted that.
I love Devontae Walker.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's actually. Besides Devontae, I like Baker and I like Malik Washington here. Like, well, not here, but like in those last rounds. I think there are like 3 type of wide receivers right now that go late that have like ASB type upside from a few years back.
Yeah, no,
like they're all like they can work out. They are high target earners when they were in school, and they can have
there's a good case, man. Like Malik Washington will do well if like Tyreek Hill gets hurt.
Or
Walker is walking into OBJ's role, and Zay Flowers not an all around alpha receiver, and something that I keep a lot of notes over the last few years, and I reread them. And the number one constant that I have starred on the very top of my spreadsheet, every spreadsheet, is good teams will create efficient fantasy football players. And when we're this late in drafts, I just want efficiency. I'm not as worried about volume. And if Devontae Walker can convert 80 targets into 600 yards and 5-6 touchdowns, it's a pretty good 16th round pick, and with Lamar, it's not impossible.
Right. And with Lamar, it just takes like 1 or 2 throws and he'll find you deep. He's got the arm for it.
Heck yeah, he's got the arm for it. Especially when he's off script. And again, like, I love Zay Flowers, but he's way too expensive this year. I'm not drafting him. That's a 0%er for me. Not
I have a few. I got him in the late 4th today.
Okay, late 4th, I'll take a bite. You know, like if Terry's off the board, sure, I'll take a Zay Flowers. But like, dude, how am I drafting Zay Flowers when Amari Cooper's there?
Chris, are you drafting on DraftKings right now? Like this
Not
week?
at all. Not at all.
Oh, if you do any DraftKings, this is the week to do it. They're running promos, so they're giving you stupid stuff for drafting, and the draft rooms have been absurd. And I don't know what they're going to cancel, what they aren't going to cancel, because last year they just they took them off everybody in the world to tell them that like it wasn't a good like lobby somebody got into. Hold on. Do you want to take Baker or do you want to look at the tight ends?
We can get a tight end next pick probably.
Okay.
Take whoever you like, man. Whoever your sleeper is.
Yeah. We'll go. I like Baker.
All right. We'll just at this point we might want to consider that Drake May, but nah, it's all right. I like multiple New England guys.
Did we get? Oh, we did get Polk.
What's
Laporta's bye week?
What's Laporta's bye week?
5.
I mean, we can consider May. I don't hate like a Gesicki or a Dawson Knox here. Okay. But if you want to go, I like bringing in that second tight end. They can also flex in. But let's look at this roster. I feel like we
you want to look at the roster, or do you
No,
want to
look at
roster?
on the other view. The other view. There we go. So the quarterback room is powerful.
Yeah.
The running back room is balanced in that Bijan will just fill in RB1 all year.
Yeah.
Walker will alternate with one of the last guys for the RB2, and then Jones and Chubb hopefully just fill in flex for us.
Yeah.
And then you got 3 solid receiver starters, 2 very solid workman guys, and then 3 darts on high upside players. So like, I don't love walking out with 4 rookies. I think that's a tough rookie veteran balance, but sometimes you get backed into it, and there's no reason it can't work. There were certainly 4 rookies last year that crushed. So
yeah, and these rookie Polk and Baker are gonna, one of them's gonna get the job for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, was gonna get some kind of work early. So
yeah, Polk for sure. Baker, I am more of a. So my theory, we'll see what happens. My theory is that Polk will be the Polk will be the flanker day one, like the Z. The Y will obviously be Demario Douglas, Henry at tight end. I think they're going to start the season with KJ Osborne at X and with Jacoby at quarterback.
So do you want to go with Dawson Knox? We have 5 seconds.
Let's go Knox.
Okay.
They'll probably by the midseason we'll get May, and around the time we get May, we'll probably get Baker over Osborne. Like, it'll be one of those where we see the snap shares are like 2 ships in the night as Osborne gets less, Baker gets more. And once Baker's out there full time, man, people everyone's going to question why they ever put KJ Osborne on the goddamn field. Because Javon Baker's going to smash 1,000%.
100%. Yeah. He's so quick. He's like Hunter Renfrow-esque, like, quickness in like the small boxes area. Like, he's
a huge big play guy, and everything that people want Dontavian Wicks to be, Javon Baker is going to be, bro. You should see his interview with Steve Smith. It's hilarious. He's like Steve Smith's like, oh, what did they say to you what did you say when they interviewed you and asked you about your drops? He goes, well, it clearly wasn't my hands because they're huge, dude. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's amazing. This guy gets it.
All right, we end up with Bijan, Nico, Michael Pittman, Sam Laporta, Calvin Ridley, Kenneth Walker, C.J. Stroud, Aaron Jones, Romeo Doubs, Jordan Love, Nick Chubb, Jalen Bulk, Kamani Vidal, Jalen Wright, Roman Wilson, Devontae Walker, Javon Baker, and
Dawson Knox.
Solid team. I have done none of these, so that should be easy to find.
It's tough to do the live stream draft. They're fast, and you end up talking.
For it being a fast puppy, that didn't, maybe it's something with DraftKings, but my drafts have been going fairly quickly on DraftKings, I guess.
Let's see what ADP values we got.
ADP values, all right.
So let's see. Stroud's a sick value. Stroud and Love. We crushed it a quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's see. Running back. We basically threaded the needle. Everyone was more or less within ADP range.
Yeah.
The good outweighed the bad.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got a lot of good value in general, though. Or we stuck near it or got good value. Like, we got 8-7 picks, and obviously that doesn't mean much towards the end, but
no, I love it. And especially on Sam Laporta, whenever he slips, that's when I will take Laporta once he hits like the mid-4th just to get shares, but I'll never take him in the 3rd round. I'm not doing it.
I'm not either. I'll take him in the 4th when he falls to the 4th.
So I see Cooper, Pickens, and Higgins as the last of like the earlier receiver tier. If those 3 are gone, I will consider Kelsey and Laporta. But those 3, if they're on the board, man, it's really hard for me not to draft them because they're such good like 2nd and 3rd receivers.
Yeah. I mean, we could have gone T or Cooper.
Well, that's okay. I like that we spiced it up because honestly, I have too much Amari Cooper anyway. I'm so old.
I think it made our team so balanced that we could go in any direction though at the same point.
I would. So I rank all my teams as 0, no ranking, or 1. 0 means it's probably dead in the water. 1 is this is like a genuine hitter, and no ranking is like, okay, this team has a chance, but it's going to come down to chance, like variance. And I would give this no ranking. I would be like, this is definitely in contention.
Yeah.
But I don't look at it and be like, damn, this knocked my socks off. But again, we were talking a lot.
We were talking, and somebody out here took Najee in my spot there.
You know what? This is why I kick myself when I don't just follow the ADP, because we would have gotten JT followed by DJ Moore. Then we wouldn't have felt the need to reach on Kenneth Walker. And then the whole thing just feels a little cleaner to me. I think that's what it really is.
Yeah, that JT pick would have been nice. Then we could have gotten, one other random wide receiver falling down probably just a little bit.
I buckled. It's my
We
fault.
probably could have gotten Cooper Kupp potentially.
I am a huge Cooper Kupp fan this year.
Yeah, same here.
I drafted him 0% last year, and I'm all over him this year.
You know what's wrong with me is I'm too stubborn and I stick to my priors way too much. and I'm a Cooper Kupp believer, and I think he should smash again this year. I think even with both of them on the field, I think they can both eat. Like I think that's going to be one of the best offenses out there this year.
I mean, who else are they going to throw the ball to? DeMarcus Robinson?
Dude,
Colby
the amount
Parkinson?
of hype that they have gotten is ridiculous. Who is really there are people out there drafting DeMarcus Robinson like in the 14th round. It's ridiculous.
No, it's crazy. You have two receivers that are going to combine for at least 50% targets and probably 50% red zone targets. I mean, it's going to be absolutely disgusting. Yeah. And you don't even necessarily need Stafford out there if he gets hurt. So it's easy money. You just need Cooper Kupp to stay healthy. But honestly, like I think he's good. I will see. It's it is risky though.
Let's go ahead and read off Shube's team. I already know I like it because it has Najee on it, but we're here to
You're obsessed, dude.
He has a 4-5-7-2. Not used to seeing 4 quarterbacks, but let's go ahead and read it. Jared Goff, Geno Smith, Bryce Young, and Drake May. Probably, I mean, you went mid-tier with one late rookie. I could kind of see what your thought process a little bit there is, but I think you probably stick to 3 regardless.
We'll see the rest of the team.
All righty. Josh Jacob, Najee Harris, Jonathan Brooks, Javonte Williams, Zach Charbonnet. Solid running backs.
Yeah.
ASB, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Xavier Worthy, Tyler Lockett, Demario Douglas, Adam Thielen. Tight ends, Chig and Okonkwo. So you got a good tight end. You got your starting 3 really good at wide receiver. Obviously some flyers with Xavier Worthy, Tyler Lockett, Demario, and then old man Thielen, who actually I'm kind of high on a little bit this year. I didn't mean to be, but you got good value on him. It's solid. I don't know where you would even add if you were to take away from one of your quarterbacks because your team looks really good.
I think if you're ever going to do 4 quarterbacks, that's exactly the time to do so. He got 3 of them basically around 16, 17, 18 or whatever. And then Drake May was just there super late. And Goff, Geno, and Bryce don't really have that 30-point ceiling. I genuinely think Drake May will late in the season. So if you're going to do 4 QBs, that's how and when for sure.
Like you don't have weekly upside of a Josh Allen type, right? But you do have a solid floor where the rest of your team can handle the high upside parts.
If Jacobs and Najee hit, and I'm a huge Javonte Williams guy this year, so if those 3 hit, you're flexing a running back. You just got to pray the top 3 receivers can carry it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not a huge fan of Lockett and Thielen.
Right. Yeah, I think those are just the floor plays maybe to get Xavier Worthy on his feet. Maybe. I don't know. If I was to take away one, I guess you'd probably take away Bryce, maybe, I guess, and put another wide receiver out there. But
May was I liked May as a pick.
Yeah.
But I'll make the case for New England because Jose was asking, if you don't mind, Felix, quickly. I think Drake May was looked past by a lot of people for no reason. The stats in college are insane. There should be a lot of high upside for this guy. And every team sucks until their quarterback is good, right? The Texans going into the season last year were terrible, right? They were the worst team ever. We all hated them. Now look at them. Look at Los Angeles before they got Herbert. It's just how it goes. Cincinnati. Oh my God, is Joe Burrow gonna not go to Cincinnati? They're so bad. Like, no, come on, man. It's the quarterback that mixes the bread, mixes the pudding, whatever, the butter. I don't know the phrase. And it's going to be Drake May. And they basically have an open tryout at every receiver position. So it's Osborne versus Baker. It's going to be Juju versus Polk, and it's going to be Douglas versus Kendrick Bourne. Plus, they have the good tight end. The running backs are fine. So, like, May will certainly scrap together some good rushing upside. Plus, he'll be able to throw a couple tuds, and I think he'll have a hot end to the year once he gets out there.
I agree. And they're not like rushing him out there. No one's expecting him to be out there. So like he's going to get when he goes out there, it's going to be like his best foot forward. They're not going to just throw him into the deep water with no help.
He'll be
which
more
is nice.
seasoned, and Jacoby will have taken the fall for the losses that mattered.
I just hope that. I mean, if Jacoby like kills it though, you know what I'm saying? Like if he's like actually winning, do they take him out? End of the season?
I mean, if I have to make 32 teams worth of bets, and if I'm gonna bet Jacoby Brissett comes out and scorch earths the AFC, then if that happens, take my money. I don't deserve to win.
Geno Smith did it to me, and Geno Smith did it to me 2 years ago, and like my brain's like still hasn't wrapped my head around it.
Sure, but Geno Smith had DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
Right. He's not working with the same elite weapons.
And he had a Super Bowl winning head coach and not Gerard Mayo. And, it's not impossible, but I'm not fretting over Jacoby Brissett. I'll tell you what, if Jacoby Brissett has a winning record by week 7, I'm going to call the old Chargers medical doctor who stabbed up Tyrod Taylor. I'm going to get him to New England at any cost. And he's going to do a lung evaluation.
That'll be
that guy.
We need May out there. We need May out there for sure.
Love that guy. But you said you had some questions for me or whatever?
Oh, yeah. For the Patreon, if you wanted to do that.
Sure.
All right, everybody. We are headed over to the Patreon. It's $5.99 or it's $5. I don't really remember. But it's patreon.com/bestballnation. If you want to find it there, we'll be over there in just a minute.
Do I have to go to like a different stream?
Yeah, I'll send you a link real quick.
Sounds good. Talk to you later, Jose.
See you, Jose. Jose might be over there. We'll see.